Welcome to Mr.B's Game Lounge. Lights on, screens glow, it's time to begin. Cards on the table, let the battles roll in. From the first draw step to the final command, strategy sharp, get the power in hand. Creatures rise, legends stand tall, every turn counts, hear the table call. Life's totals drop, but the height goes higher. Stack gets wild, yeah, the tension's on fire. From the lounge to the swing, yeah, we run the game. Every play iconic, every deck untamed. Welcome to Mr.B's Game Lounge, where the legends take command. Magic in the air tonight. Oh, Commander battles just as planned. Welcome to Mr.B's Game Lounge.
Boom. And welcome everybody to the first episode of Brewing at the Bees. We are here at Mr.B's Game Lounge in Pennington Gap, Virginia to bring you our very first live deck tech. We hope everybody enjoys it. I have with me today my friend Nick. He has brought his Atla Palani deck, the first deck I ever played when Nick came here. It's really interesting, and I'll let Nick give you an overview of what the deck does, and then we'll talk about some specifics. How about it, buddy?
Hey, I'm Nick. I've been coming out here to the lounge probably going on, 2 years maybe? 1.5-ish.
Time flies. It's probably been something like that, yeah.
It's been a while, and I really enjoyed it here, and I'm excited to bring y'all the first deck I ever played here, which is Atla Palani Nest Tender. It is just a very good Naya big creature stompy kind of deck. It is very, very fun. You know, it's fun to play. I don't know about playing against, but it's exciting. It's one of those decks where it never plays the same every time, and that's what makes it fun to play, because you never know what you're going to hit.
You never know, and that's one of the fun things to play against it is, one of those egg dies, things are going to start flipping off the top of that deck, and you know it's going to be something bad, but
You just don't know what it's going to
you
be.
just don't know how bad it's going to be. Sometimes it's an Eldrazi, and sometimes it's just a big angel that gives things indestructible, and sometimes it's a thing that says, hey, you can't cast spells.
I mean, it's very fun. Probably should actually read the card off to you. I don't think I've done that yet. She is one in Naya for I believe it is a 2/3, and she has a activated ability where you pay 2 mana and tap her, and she makes a 0/1. I believe 0/1. Yeah,
believe you are correct.
0/1 defender egg token. Now, the egg token don't do anything on its own. It's just a normal egg. But then she has a static ability where if an egg you control is destroyed, then you get to flip the top card of your deck until you hit any creature. Then it just comes into the battlefield.
Yep.
You don't cast it for free, so any casting abilities you really don't want, or casting ability is just gravy if you're able to actually cast it from hand somehow.
Right.
But a lot of the deck is just big creatures that has ETB effects or just really good static abilities that just says, hey, you don't play certain things, or your creatures are just going to be smaller. It's a very fun deck. Like I say, it's one of those, it plays different every time, so it's always really fun to bring it out and just see, if you hit a Void Widower on turn 3, which happens. It sucks for everyone else, but it's very, very entertaining to see people look at their hand and they start counting. Because you just know they're sitting there like...
Yeah, you're just counting the mana on every single spell that you have. You're like, well, I hope I have a bunch of odd mana costing spells.
Yeah, because, it's odd mana, so it hits a lot of good stuff. There's also stuff in the deck like Mirror Entity that just lets you turn all your stuff into changelings, which is every creature type. It also includes eggs.
Includes eggs.
Lucky for us.
Yep.
And then you can just kind of stack it to where Atla Palani is the last one to die, and then you pop all your eggs. Everything does, so that's pretty good to have on like board wipes, and people's just going to destroy everything. Then you're like, well, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, sometimes the things that you get out of those are worse than what they blew up the first time.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those decks where you don't quite know what comes up on top, but when it does, you're like, huh, this is better.
It's pretty good. So obviously you're stacking the deck with lots and lots of big creatures because you want them all to be very powerful. You don't want to flip something and have it be like, oh, well, this is not really that good.
Yeah, it's
But what else do you have in the deck? Like besides your, like, are you running ramp packages? You're running some sack outlets. I definitely know there's some sack outlets. Yeah. What other kind of things are you running in the deck to round out your list besides just giant stompy things?
Well, you play the big stompy things, but they don't come out and nothing really happens unless you have the commander on the field.
Right.
So there is a pretty good protection package in there, which includes a lot of cheap 1-2 minute instances that just says the target creature gains protection from a color, gains indestructible, hexproof. You really want those really cheap instant speed protection spells.
Things like Snakeskin. I don't know if you have Snakeskins yet, but things like Snakeskin Veil, things that can make you indestructible, make you hexproof in response. That way, if someone tries to target removal. Because an important thing to know is, Nick kind of mentioned it, but the ability is on her, not the eggs.
Yeah, it's on the commander specifically. Right. So if she goes, then your eggs are just 0-1 defender eggs.
0-1 defenders.
Which is a lot worse than what they could be. They're a lot meaner if the commander's on the field. So you always want to make sure that you can typically keep up mana for protection spells. But typically, I find when I play the deck that I don't cast spells from hand on my turn often because I'd rather keep up mana for protection spells, and I just find ways to untap Atla Palani to then tap her again. So then you use mana for like activated abilities, use mana for sack outlets, stuff like that.
Right.
Then you keep mana up for those protection spells and for stuff that other people may not quite know that you have in hand, but you have it in hand, and that's what matters.
Yeah, the deck definitely reminds me, when you're playing against it, it reminds me a lot of playing against like a blue deck.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of responses in the deck. You have to, if you're going to do something that affects your board state, me as your opponent, I have to assume, okay, I'm probably this first one's not going to get through. I got to find a way to get something else through. I got to find another way to do it because the first one's definitely not going to happen.
Mm-mm. It's let's say you typically try to hold up mana, and you're in Naya colors, so like green and white are really good just for really cheap 1 mana protection from a color. Because if someone targets it with something, even if like the creature has indestructible and they target it with
like a path or a sword,
something like that, you could just be like, I'm gonna give it protections from white.
Right, I'm just gonna go protection white, and then I don't care about your exile. It's just gonna fizzle.
Yeah, and then that could also protect you later on from other things, like some could have a path, but maybe another player has a swords.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really good to have effects like that because you need her on the field. It is very much a play your commander, protect your commander.
Yeah.
You don't want her to die. You don't attack with her. Typically, when I cast her, I kind of push her to the side because I'm not defending with her. I'm not attacking with her. She's going to stay over there on the side.
Hopefully, it's out of sight and out of mind until
I'm going to
flip over the Eldrazi.
I'm going to put it on the side, and I'm going to hope people forget that she's actually there. Right. That's kind of the name of the game.
Now, do you run a ramp package to that way if something happens and you were to, like your commander is just getting targeted constantly, that you can just say, well, the hell with this. I'll just play these giant things.
Yeah. I feel like any good commander deck does run somewhat of a ramp package anyhow.
If it's worth a damn, it does.
Yeah. But you are in green, so you play all the really good, cheap,
3 visits, nature's lore, that kind of stuff.
Cultivate. Growth, really cheap, because you want everything cheap in the deck you can. The only things you want expensive in the deck is your creatures.
Yeah, because you want to be able to, like you said, you want to be able to respond, so you don't want to spend all of your mana ramping.
Yeah.
You want to ramp and then hold up mana to protect what you've got on the field.
Yeah, you play in the good artifacts, like the signets, the sewing,
Soul Ring signet, all that fun stuff.
Yep, all that stuff like that. But you're all in green, so you get all the good green vamp things anyhow, which is really good. I also play a little bit of a sacrifice package in it.
Yeah. The ways that, because you don't want to rely on your opponent swinging at you, because if I don't have to, I'm probably not going to.
Yeah, it's one of those, people may only swing at you once you have eggs. And then, and they're going to swing once, and then they're like, okay, that was a mistake. Let's not do that again.
Right.
So, you have to find ways to get rid of your own eggs.
Right, you want to ways for the eggs to show up and then die as quickly as humanly possible so you get the value out of them.
Yeah. And I actually bought a couple of cards today to kind of show off that, these are typically ones that I feel like is good in the deck if you want to recreate it, or I think I got a link on Moxfield.
If you guys want to see the entire deck list, this is the actual deck list that Nick is playing currently. I had him put the deck list up on the website so that you guys can have it, see the exact deck list that Nick's playing. It may change over time, but the list as currently put together is on Moxfield right now. So something we're going to do here on Brewing at the Bees is I kind of on the spot, I didn't give Nick a lot of time to think about it, but which is I think is the best way to do it, because I feel like your gut reaction is probably right most of the time.
Okay.
On things like this, I told Nick, I was like, hey, Nick, give me 5 cards. I want your 5 most important cards in the deck. So if someone is wanting to do a deck similar to yours, but maybe not just copy your list, these are the 5 cards that you say, hey, these are the most important 5 cards in my list. The first one is obviously the Commander. As we talked about, Atla Palani, she is kind of a monolith. She is very important. If she gets removed constantly, then the deck is much slower. It'll still work. I mean, you can still hard cast an Ulamog or an Emrakul.
But it feels a little worse.
It
feels kind of bad.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to pay 11 mana for anything, right?
No,
so if you can cheat it, you can cheat it.
Yeah, and that that's the whole deck. You typically don't want to run really cheap creatures.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to flip into it.
Because it's a feel bad, and it feels almost like it's a dud if you flip into a smaller creature and you're like,
because you don't run like Land of War Elves, right? Because you don't want to. You don't want to flip into. You're sitting there going, "Man, I'm in big trouble here. This egg's got to count," and then you're like,
"Okay, it's a 1/1 mana dork.
It's a 1/1 dork. Yeah, this is way worse than this could be."
Yeah, it's So you run. I only run cards. I think the cheapest card I have is the Creature Eyes, is the Mirror Entity, and that's just because it has such a strong effect.
Right, it has such a good ability that it's worth.
Yeah, it's worth having in, because even if it does flip off the top,
it's basically another egg.
Yeah,
even if it's the only thing out, it itself is another egg.
It is another egg, but it also will give people reasons not to board wipe.
Yeah,
because then they're like, okay, I definitely don't want to wrap the god. Yeah, I don't want to wrap the god right now because I need to get rid of those creatures.
Right,
they're going to pop in tomorrow.
Right. All right. So Atla Palani is obviously one of those. Give me your next one.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is I've mentioned a couple of times. Try to get in the shot here real good. Is the Mirror Entity. It's just 3 mana for 1/1. Really bad stats for something like this, of course. But it is very good to have it. Like I say, it kind of wards off removal in any way, because if someone targets anything,
it's not exile-based removal that is a problem.
Yeah, it's and this is one of the only non-exciting cards to flip into.
Hey, I've actually playtested this deck a little bit. I really like flipping into Mirror Entity because I'm going, ooh, I'm in a pretty good spot here.
Yeah, so it really wards stuff off, really makes people second guess what they're going to do, which is what you want in Magic. You don't want someone to be like, okay, I'm going to do this, and it's going to be the best thing, and it's just not going to get messed with.
Right.
You want to make sure you be like, oh, well, I can do this or that.
Absolutely. All right, what do you got next?
Okay, so after the Mirror Entity, I bought a sack outlet to try to show y'all what you typically want.
We did it, guys. We broke Ashnod's Altar.
Yeah.
The card's been broken since the day it was printed, and it's maybe even more broken now.
Yeah, well, it's just, it doesn't necessarily need to be Ashnod's Altar. It's very good if it is.
Yeah, because her ability, we didn't talk about this, her ability costs 2 mana to activate, right?
It does, yep. So if you find a way to keep untapping her, then you can get very just free eggs off of her if
Right.
you can find a way to untap her.
And once you get one egg, then you can sacrifice the egg to the Ashnod's altar.
Yep.
You're going to get the trigger to flip into something big, and then you have 2 mana to tap into Atla Palani to make another egg.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a very fun thing. The reason I bought this out though is because it is a free sack outlet.
Yeah, it's an instant speed outlet,
Yep.
so you can sack your eggs on anybody's turn.
Yeah, it's you want one like that. You can get ones that you have to pay money to do stuff, but the ones you typically want to see in your opening hand and you want to see being played early is the free sack outlets.
Hey, thank everybody who's watching this live. We appreciate it.
Um,
I mean, again, it's Ashnod's Altar. That card has
Yeah,
been
it's-
busted for 20 years. If Magic is still putting out new cards in 2045, it's going to be busted in 20
Yep.
more years.
it's always going to be a good card.
Always, yeah.
Always.
All right, what do you got next?
I got a
Ooh,
I got creatures.
I know
you,
what that card is.
creatures you typically want to see get popped off of an egg.
Yeah.
And the one we're going to do right here is a Elish Norn Grand Cenobite.
The Dark Lady.
Yeah, it's just a very, very good effect. Just all your stuff gets +2/+2, then all of everyone else's stuff gets -2/2.
Yeah, I mean, Elish Norn, I mean, what can you say that hasn't already been said about it? It's the bane of basically every token deck that's ever
Yep.
tokened. It murders things super easily. It makes your things bigger as if you, I mean...
Yeah, as if you needed
As
it,
if you
but
needed these giant things
it's,
that are already terrible to get larger and be better. It's just an all around great card. It's not overcosted. It's not undercosted. It's a very well costed. It's only busted when you can flip it over for an egg that maybe generated you 2 mana.
Yeah, it's a good card to hardcast, but it is even better if it's free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's this card on its own can win you games if you are able to
Absolutely.
do stuff like turn 1 land, sowing into a signet, turn 2 land, Atla Palani.
Yeah.
Turn 3 tapper, make an egg. If it's Elish Norn, there's a good chance everything else on the field is dying.
Yep. And everybody is so far behind, and you are sitting there with just a giant creature that's only going to continue to get bigger and continue to make problems for everybody else.
Yeah, this card can win you games on its own, just because it gets rid of, like you say, it gets rid of tokens.
Mana
But
dorks.
it also gets rid of very cheap mana darks, card engines. You
Oh,
get rid of
absolutely.
a lot of just like, 2 mana cards that says, hey, when an enchantment enters the battlefield, when you cast a enchant sorcery, draw a card.
Yep.
This just gets rid of it. And
Flipping it early is
yes, it is
it's
very,
quite powerful.
yeah.
And now, I've played against this deck several times. And while I never like to see Elish Norn, there is one card I would like to see even less.
And that is one of my favorite cards in the deck, which is a
The Void Will.
Void Widower. It is a
What a card.
9 mana, 11/9. You don't hear those stats often.
No, it's like, oh, it's an 11-9, which
Yeah.
is immediately just like, oh, this is
Yeah.
terrifying.
It is very big, and it typically has to be answered pretty quickly, or if you turn into it quickly, it can win you the game really early as well.
What is it, besides being a giant smack stick, what else does it do?
It makes it to where your opponents can't cast spells with even mana cost.
Even mana cost. So, no Wrath of God, no Damn, no Damnation.
Nope.
I think Farewell is like 6 mana. Most board wipes in the game are like even mana cost. So it just shuts them down. But wait, there's more.
Yep.
What else does it do?
Also makes it where your opponents can't block with even mana cost
Yeah.
things.
So you got something on the board. You're like, hey, this thing, we'll block. No,
Yeah, no, you just ain't gonna do that.
you're just not.
Because it also says on the card text, which is very good because I forget it a lot, 0 is considered even.
In Magic, 0 is
Yep.
considered even.
So any token, as long as the token isn't a copy of something,
Right. It's not a copy of an odd mana cost
Yep.
thing.
if it's just a 1/1 goblin or
Yep.
2/2 zombie, then it is considered 0, so you can not block with those creatures when I attack you. It is a very good card.
It's one of those cards that, from personal experience, is that when it hits the table, you don't lose often. It's just such it warps the field so dramatically.
It does, and it's getting it early on. Like I said, you could turn to Ali Palani.
If it comes out like on turn 3 or 4, like the game isn't going to end immediately, but for all intent and purpose, the game is over.
Yeah, at that point, you become enemy number 1. You become the person that everyone's like, okay, then if we can get rid of him, we can play our game, but we need rid of this card.
And that's also where the protection package that you run, that, when you have a Void Winnower out, maybe you're a little less concerned about, I can recast my commander later.
Yeah.
Maybe we save this Void Winnower from something like a Path to Exile.
Yeah, it's very good for stuff like that. You do run, I have a pretty good protection package in the deck, so that you do want to protect your big things. You do have to know what to protect, what to let go, and when to just be like, okay, then, this card has done its job. It has completely gave me all the value that's out of it.
Yeah.
Let's put it aside and let's get something else. But another thing I like to mention is Void Winnower does even mana cost, but it is really good early on because it makes it to where people can't play the good ramp spells.
Right, it shuts out Nature's Lure. It shuts out 3 visits.
Shuts down almost all of the
Arcane Signets.
All Signets.
All the talismans, those are all cooked.
Anything like that, just 2 mana, Mana Rock, which is a very popular mana cost for Mana Rocks, 2 mana for something like that is typically good. And if you can get a Void Winnower out quickly, then it just kind of
just shuts it down.
Yeah, you just hold cards in your hand. I've had games where Void Winnower came out really early, and then people has not been able to cast spells.
No, they just sit there.
Yeah, and it really makes, people will get done with games, and I've seen people go through their decks looking, but like, how many even cost mana do I have in this deck?
Absolutely.
Because it is such a mean card. It's really good, and there's, this deck could be built in so many different ways. I've done Eldrazi because I like Eldrazi. They're nice. A lot of people like Eldrazi. It is very nice to be able to flip into something like this. Also, if you look at the deck list, I have an Emrakul in the deck list. I have a Ulamog in the list. You don't get their cast effects. No, it really doesn't matter if they have.
It's a 10/10 indestructible with Annihilator 4. Yeah. I mean,
and then,
I don't get to exile something. Okay.
Or you get the Ulamog and then you attack and the person exiles top 20.
Okay, yeah, that's the one you're right.
Yeah, it's very you play so those.
Dumb. It's so dumb.
The deck could be built, like I said, a lot of different ways. You could do dinosaurs, and that is a very good color combination for dinosaurs.
I believe our friend Superfast Tortoise is in the chat. He is a massive dinosaur. Dude has like 4 dinosaur decks.
Yeah, it's a very good dinosaur color combination, and she's very good because she makes the eggs, and then you get to pop them, and it doesn't matter what you hit as long as the big creature hits the field. So there's Galtas in the deck. You can play, hit a Galta. You can hit and the Tali. Tali's dinosaur.
Yes, it is. Yes, both of them.
You can do both. You can do the mono red one, then the Gruul one. Yep.
And our friend Aaron Source Rex, she is also a Dino fan.
Yeah, like I say, it's a very good dinosaur commander. Because you could do the deck in so many different ways. You could do it, like I said, dinosaurs. I've done just big creatures, mostly Eldrazi, and just big cards you typically don't see.
Right.
You don't see Void Winnower often just because it is so much mana.
Yeah, and while you may see those cards in decks, what you don't often see is all of them.
Yeah, no.
Because you don't want the average casting cost of cards in your deck to be 7.
Yeah, no. These big. Normally these are the top end of decks. That is, it hits late game. I need something to end the game, and I'm going to spend one whole turn casting the Void Winnower.
Yeah, and instead in this deck, it is, hey, this is like the 4th or 5th turn this thing's just going to come out, and you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, like, it's going to hit the field.
And there's going to be more of them.
Yep. So it keeps on going. There's a lot of good ones. I got stuff in the deck like Angels that doubles all the damage I do and then halves all the damage I take.
Oh yeah, the Aurelia.
Yep.
That card's really good. Yeah,
Red Pike. It's really good. You can do the Mono Fight Angel that gives all you other permanents.
Absolutely.
Yep. Indestructible. Just for more protection. Because they are all big creatures, but the nice thing to get is something that gives all them protection of stuff. You know, indestructible, hexproof.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, your deck list that you have now is the one you're playing.
Yep.
If you were going to add one card, if you're sitting there, you're at Star City Games in Roanoke, you're looking through their giant collection, you can pick out any card you want to put in it. What's the one card you're like, I don't know what I take out, but I definitely find something to take out to put this in?
Of course, it would have to be just a massive creature to put in the deck because that's the meat and potatoes of the deck.
Something else? Yeah,
big ones.
Fair enough.
I would probably say, just to help kind of unclog your hand, is the Galta that's 5 genetic and 3 green.
Primal. I don't know what that one's called. But it's basically when the ETBs you put all
all
creatures around. Yeah.
Because the deck, I don't play a lot of draw in the deck. Because you don't want to draw into those big creatures.
Right, you don't want them clogging up your hand, but you may end up with them. So having something like Galta, if you flip a Galta, suddenly the 3 creature spells you have in your hand are like, oh.
You just, boom.
Yeah,
there they are. It really helps unclog the deck and makes it a little bit more smooth to play with.
Right.
Because all those are really good ETB effects. If you can really stack up ETB effects, it's bad for the effects. It is very good to have. You really don't want cast effects. You want
ETBs. You're not casting.
No, you want ETBs. You want stuff to hit the field and be like, oh yeah, it does this.
Right. Awesome. All right. Well, that's all we're gonna have time for tonight. If you guys want a chance to play this deck, Nick is here a lot of times on Fridays. He's here other days. So if you're in the area and you want to come down and check out the Atla Palani deck for yourself, get a game in against it, come by. Again, we're at Mr. B's Game Lounge here in Pennington Gap, Virginia. Nick, my friend, thanks for coming, brother.
Thanks for having me, guy.
Really appreciate you.
Yep.
And to all you out there watching, thank you so much. We'll have more of these coming. I don't know when. We're going to try and do 1 to 2 a week so we get some more people interested in being on. Thanks, everybody who watched. We greatly appreciate it. And if you are into podcast, I will be with our friend Superfast Tortoise tomorrow morning for a morning cup of coffee that I don't actually drink, but I'm there.
Hey, man, just for the good time.
Exactly,
right?
absolutely. Great times.